So this is a video about how a nation state or a financial organisation could work with the creation of money and make not a billion, not a trillion, not a zillion, but a gigalillion, gigazillion, gigabillion pounds, gigabillion dollars, and do it in a day. And this is not a Ponzi scheme. This isn't something like Bitcoin, and Bitcoin I think is really inspirational because it inspires people how to make their own digital currencies, which I think everybody should be able to do and should try doing in some way or form. But this here is demonstrating how there are many schemes to get rich quick that are simply Ponzi schemes, but this is a realistic scheme which, if you had the nation state or some kind of authority in line with you, or if you were able to create a financial organisation, you would see how you could become rich based on integrity, not cheating, not trying to undermine anyone, not lying, but just simple integrity. Oh, I got it the wrong way round. So, dynamically, the dynamic creation of money, of digital money. So, how do we do this? We have a repository or bank. When people spend money on products or anything, this creates money. This also destroys money depending on what the products are. So let's say a nation state decides they want to be greener in terms of technology. Well, we could have any money spent on, say, fossil fuels as a way of producing a minus number, so removing money from the repository. People spend money on green technologies or innovations, it's a way of adding money to the repository. And when products are created, like say a house has a value that goes beyond the money spent creating the house. It has a material, desired value, and also a realistic and logical value, because it gives people places to live. It opens up avenues for entertainment and what people do inside their houses. So we use these products created when we're valuing the money that we've created. So what is the problem? The problem with today is we have a bank. Banks can create money, but they usually output money as a loan. So let's say we have a bank with £100, it gives a £50 loan to a company. The company spends £30 getting products, and it spends £20 paying employees. The employees spend £10 buying food or whatever, and they save £10 if they're fortunate enough. The company also makes a product with the £50 that it has. That product actually goes into stores, which the stores may buy for £20. So this company is actually making a savings of £20, but it's actually having to use a loan of £50 each time to produce that product. So this is just a very basic idea of how the current monetary system doesn't work unless it's constantly having money injected into it, which is what the current monetary system actually does do. It injects money into the system every year, and you have the appearance that the economy is growing every year because of this. However, what this hides is an underlying issue of not just poverty, but issues with how money is being channeled, how it's being used, and actually how it can be hard for a company or business to exist. So, if we create a simple dictionary, and I'm using scalar values between -5 and +5, typically you could use a number between 0 and 1 to represent the same system. So green technology has a value of +5. Fossil fuels -2, so it's just a dictionary that can be looked at. So when we have products in stores, those products will be referenced in this dictionary. So let's work with some maths. So if we have new money created, we have the cost of a product. So let's say we're buying butter at £1, and we can times that by the dictionary value. So £1 times 2 is creating £2 of new additional money. Now this new money plus the money which is in the repo equals the repository. And we can say the value of the repository, or the money in the bank, is equal to the money spent divided by the value of the product created times 100. So we're using a percentage to increase or decrease the value of the money that we are holding in that repository. So this is again dynamically dynamically creating a value for the money in the repository. So now, looking at reciprocals, which is what this basically is, and this is just a prototype idea. It's not a fully functioning idea. It's not something that I've even gone out and tested in society. It's just an idea of how I think nation states need to begin to consider the money creation system. So we have this reciprocal. So the total money in the repository divided by the repo money spent times the value of the repo, or 1 divided by the repo money spent divided by the value of the repo, or the value of the products created by the repo. So we have this repository where the more value created will be nearer 0, and the less value created will be nearer 1. So it's just a simple way of actually dynamically valuing the money that we've created and hold in our, not secret repository, but a repository which is like a bank-like organisation. So this repository, which has money, which now has a value, can now be turned into pounds or traded for pounds, traded for other things and resources. But this is something to be done inside of the nation state. This is an idea of how a nation state develop huge sums of money which are of a high value, something which is tradable and sought after. So the value can equal a percentage of the repository plus the repo money spent. So we can change the valuation number. So when we're valuing money, we can use part of the value. So let's say we've got £100. We can use £50 of that to represent 50% of the current money's value, and then we can scale or add that to the repo money spent and what valuation that had, to create another valuation. So it's a way of actually augmenting and playing with the value of the money. But essentially this is producing money not to a gold standard, but can produce money to a diamond-like or higher materialistic standard, much higher than gold. And this is all done dynamically through people's choice of spending and demand, but also allowing governments to say, well, actually, we want to try and get people to spend more money doing this or doing that, and less money doing this or doing that. And when we have people buying fossil fuels or dangerous things like gases which are pollutants, it actually reduces the amount of money we can make that day, that month, that year. So this here is a representation of, say, the digital money class. So each money created has a history, has a list of histories, has a list of owners, a list of products bought, and a list of timestamps. So now we can use this money to create visualizations and see how money is being spent. So this is all geared towards, being part of a nation state or an organisation, an NGO which works for the nation state that has the ability to create monies. And this is essentially, a way in which, an organisation or persons who work with this organisation can become incredibly rich within one day, no cheating, no lying, no stealing, no theft, all based on integrity, and this demonstrates, the kind of money that can be made in a year is beyond anything anybody could even fathom to think of. And that's really it. So this is a way to produce money, to build houses, to build schools, which all have much more value than the money used to build them, to gain resources, etc., etc. But how the money is spent is what is helping increase the value of the money in the repository.